Hi, Stuart.
Yes.
Hi. Hi. Uh, I have I have a little struggle with fear right now, and I wanted to check what's your opinion. I know you cannot ignore it. I know you cannot fight against it, and I know that you have to just accept it as part of life. But how do you not let it
There's one thing you left out.
which
You
is
can build a system inside yourself that is strong enough to transform your fear into an open heart, into love, into joy. I mean, it really is completely dependent upon the depth that you work on yourself because fear is in everybody. Very
right.
few people know how to transform it into a life-giving energy. And if you build that kind of system inside, you can master your fear. Your fear will last a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. You can transform it. You can, first of all, draw it, that fear, that emotion, you draw it down to the chakra below the navel. And
But
you use your will to do this, that I am going to master this. I can use my mind, my breath, this whole double breathing exercise that I teach to build a system inside yourself that is strong enough that you will never be dominated by fear. And you'll arrive at a place where you recognize that fear isn't necessarily an unhealthy thing.
I know,
It's a warning sign
right?
that something might be dangerous that you are encountering right now. And that also takes a lot of strength to recognize this, to give you the balance inside, the foundation inside, to be able to deal with that kind of energy and to listen to fear because, it's like a buoy going off in a fog, it's
Right.
telling a ship, hey, stay away from here
Yeah,
because you might wind up in an accident. And fear often does that.
yeah,
Fear of taking on responsibility that's bigger than ourselves. That's a fear everybody's got to get over because we're constantly being faced with responsibility bigger than ourselves. And if we allow it to create unconditional fear inside us, you never can function in life. How do you do it? How do you abate that fear? It's the responsibility of each human being to build a system inside themselves that's strong enough to do it. This meditation I teach really will help you do that. It helped me do it when I was a kid. I was afraid of everything. I was running from the world, and then it taught me how to embrace life instead of run from life. Taught me how to get bigger than my fear and how to get free of my fear. So it's not only you, Rafi. I don't think there's a person sitting here that doesn't have this problem. And it's a problem that can be overcome. And it enables a person to attain success in their life without success swallowing them up. So you can have money, you can have a nice place to, everything, without it eating you alive. It no longer intimidates you, it no longer threatens you. Understand? And through developing the kind of system inside I am talking about, you have a connection with a force of energy in the universe that transcends everything. There is nothing that is more powerful than a human being's connection with God. That energy will transform the fear inside you into something that will give you life.
is it only through meditation or there are other techniques? Obviously, it's
Rafi, look, I know what I do works. I don't know. I'm sure there are other things that work, but I do know this works. And how do I know it works? I live through it. And I used it to master my fear. Yeah, it can't be the only thing. Look, there are only maybe 20 people sitting here, you know? There's 8 billion people in the world, you know? There's got to be something else, other things that do this. I do know this does it. How do I know? It did it for me. It's the only reason I know. Before that, I tried a lot of things. I was in therapy, I was in this and that and the other, and it never helped me then get focused in the chakra below the navel. Use your mind. And I began to do it, and suddenly the fear began to disappear. And then when Rudy, I know he used to tell me to do the impossible. And at first I was like, oh, fuck, what does he want me to do? And then I would do it. The fear went away. And that in itself helped me to overcome fear. But I had to build a system inside that was strong enough to do it. Are there other things? I'm sure of it. But why go look for other things if you have something that can do it? Why spend your life looking for what is possible if you have what is possible? And I'll repeat it. The only way I know that it's possible, it did it for me. That's how I know. I don't know because I read about it in a book or somebody told me that this works. I know because in my life this has worked. I couldn't be here, even here, doing what I'm doing, talking to you this way, if it hadn't worked for me in my life. And then what are we afraid of? You know, we're afraid of relationships, we're afraid of money, we're afraid of failure,
Yeah,
and you know, and other things. And none of that needs to intimidate us if we have a system that's strong enough to deal with it. But then you got to do it. You understand? I did it. And I began to believe in it because I began to see it work. I mean, look, Rafi, you have come a really, I mean, look, I remember Rafi when I met you before Genesis, you know?
yeah,
I met you when, Rafi. And I see you today, and, you know, it's a miracle. Be grateful for the miracle that's taken place in your life. And then build on that. Build on that. I remember pre-Rafi very well when I first met you. Oh my God. And I see how you've succeeded in your life today and how far your life has come. And it just fills me with joy, Rafi. So keep working on yourself. And look, if you find other things, great. You know, I'm not, you know, it's not what I do is the only thing, is this and that and that and that. And whatever you find that works for you, use it, you know? But if you have something that does work for you, be sure you do use it, you know? And don't back away from it. Oh, I'm going to find something else. I have to go to too many meditation classes. There's always a reason, you know?
yeah.
That's all bullshit. That's just a reason to kill yourself. Does anyone else have a question? Look, I attend more meditation classes than all of you together, and I still don't think it's enough. I mean, what works for me, I have to believe in. I have to really believe in it. Does anyone else, somebody else have a question? My birthday's coming up. You got to have a question.
I have a question, Stuart, and it is about your birthday. It's
Okay.
Jennifer. So I have always understood that the energy between Rudy Samadhi and your birthday sets the tone or sets the energy for the year, sort of like a crescendo building up to your birthday. Can you talk about the experience that you have leading up to your birthday and how that transformation happens for you?
Well, let me elaborate on that. The strongest time of the year for me is always between Rudy's birthday and his samadhi. That's always such a powerful time for me, and look, my birthday, shit, I've lived a long time and I'm just grateful I'm here, you know, and that I'm doing deep inner work. I've got a big responsibility on my shoulders. I have books coming out. I have not only this book, Rudy the Myth, I have a whole book of short stories I wrote that's going to be coming out soon. All of that makes me very grateful that I can produce this still in my life. And the only reason I can produce this is this meditation has given me the strength to do it. I mean, usually people my age, what are they? They're in old age homes, playing bridge all day, That's the extent of their creativity. So all this time of the year does fills me with gratitude, not only for a birthday, but I can be alive at this point of my life doing these extraordinary things I'm doing. I always felt there was a book that was essential that really explains Rudy's work to people. And the book that I'm coming out with does that. It not only is a memoir, but it really goes into the depth of this spiritual practice and what it's all about in very easy to understand terms. Now, to be doing this, you know, at my age, all I have is gratitude, Jennifer. All I have is gratitude. I have gratitude that I get up in the morning and you are there doing all the things you do for me. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. And God provides. God provides. And I have nothing, the only experience I have now is just profound gratitude that I can be doing what I'm doing, living the way I'm living. And yeah, I might want a bigger place to live in. And, I mean, for God's sake, we live in a museum here. And I don't mind that. I like art. I was willing to invest money in buying this stuff so we can live with it. But, it's all extraordinary. And it just does nothing but fill me with gratitude. And if that isn't a transformation, I don't know what is. So God bless you all and the miracle of being alive and breathing and doing and having a creative life, not just a life, but a creative life. I mean, if I want, I could produce a whole library from these talks. I mean, there's literally 13 to 1400 of them that are online of these talks. And this book I wrote, Rudy, meditation, it comes from these talks. I could produce a library just from these talks that I've given. So thank you. God bless you all. Thank you for sharing my birthday with me. Thank you for the presents you've given. Thank you for God bless you all. The greatest present is just being here with all of you and doing this practice. So there will be a class. Actually, tonight, this evening, Jennifer has a class. She'll be teaching it. And there will be a class. Next class will be Monday. And then Tuesday. And then on Thursday, I'm going to go on vacation for 4 or 5 days just to get a rest. So thank you. Bless you all. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Happy birthday, Stuart.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Stuart. Thank you.